with UIndy men's basketball coach Stan Gouard. And Coach, exhibition Saturday evening over at Butler. How do you think your team looks, a couple weeks of practice here, getting ready for that game against the Bulldogs on Saturday night?
Well, we're taking steps in the right direction. We're getting better every day. I had some concerns the first couple of weeks because we had so many guys out with injuries, but with the great job our athletic training staff has done, we're finally getting everybody back on the court together. So that helps. It makes me feel a whole lot better that now we got some healthy bodies in there, and we're starting to do a little bit more as a team now in terms of our defensive things, schemes we want to do, and as well as our offensive things we're trying to do right now.
Where would you say the team is at this stage of where you want them to be to get ready for the season?
A little bit over halfway where I want to be. As far as putting in things, we still have a ways to go before we put in everything. We always try to have everything put in come conference games. But early on in games such as this one against Butler and then next week against Franklin, we like to be, have about 10 or 15 sets in defensive schemes, maybe 2 or 3. And that's, each and every week we'll start adding a couple more things. But we're about a week or 2 behind from where I wanted to be. But like I said, injuries, 8 new faces, that always sets you back a little bit.
You mentioned the 8 new faces. How do you think this team is coming together first, kind of on the court?
Well, on the court, everybody's still lobbying and jockeying for who's going to be the guy or who's going to be the man. So that's always going to be an issue. We're so talented this year. I think we're really deep. The things I need to do right now is to make sure I make these guys understand what we're trying to do as a team. I think it's a no-brainer that off the court, these guys love each other a whole lot. But when you're competing for minutes, it's not very many friends, especially in practice, and that's great. We want that. We want our guys in practice not to like each other, but to respect one another, and that means we're going to compete. And that's what we've been getting each and every day in practice. So we still trying to work some kinks out, especially on the offensive end. I think the defense is a whole lot better. We still got to trust each other on the offensive end and know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we're not there yet.
With the potential of this team to maybe the deepest team you've had now in your 5th year as a head coach, are there maybe things that we'll see out of this year's edition of the Greyhounds that maybe you haven't been able to do in the past because you maybe didn't have the bodies or the talent, or now you might be where you wanted to be in year 5 personnel-wise to do some new things? That's
my hopes. In practice the past couple of days, the guys who I'm thinking about starting against Butler have been getting their butts kicked by the second group. And that's what you want. You want guys, that second group of guys to feel like they're entitled to that top 5, to be one of those top 5 guys, and they're coming out playing like that. So maybe in practice the next couple of weeks we're going to shift some things to get some guys' attention, because I think, there's some guys who are not giving us what we know they can give us. So, but, there's always things you want to do different, when you have a team as deep as we are. And we are going to do it. The thing is, I got to decide which way I want to go. There's a couple of different things I'm looking at doing. But, I want to play a couple of games first and see how these guys react to what we've done thus far, and then I can start tweaking some things.
We talked a little bit about Butler. We'll wrap it up, go back to that game. Just what are your goals besides hopefully maybe coming back with a win from Hinkle Fieldhouse? What are you looking to accomplish on Saturday night?
I want to go in and play well. I want to put a lot of guys in and see how they play. I want to try a couple of different lineups, for future references. And I want to see how we gel as a team as far as, especially on the defensive end. How are we going to play when it's getting tough, because it's going to be tough over at Butler. With those guys' tradition and the job Coach Stevens has done over there, it's not going to be easy. But I want to put these guys in a hostile environment as we did a couple of years ago with that Tennessee game we played in Purdue and things like that. I want to put them in a hostile environment early, so that once conference start, it should become a little bit easier than much anticipated.
Coach, thank you very much for the time, and good luck Saturday night.
Thanks for having me.